I'm always being asked, how can I help improve my immune system? You can actually enhance your immune system. And I think at this time in the world, enhancing your immune system is a very important thing to do. So how can you do this without drugs or external influences? Well, it's very simple. The body's nervous system consists of two main parts, that which we call the conscious nervous system, somatic, and the unconscious nervous system called autonomic or automatic nervous system. Within the automatic or autonomic nervous system, there is two parts people know about, and they are called parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system everyone's heard of as being the flight or fight response. I call it flight, fight, freeze, and fear response. And then the other part that people often hear about is the parasympathetic nervous system, which we often hear as the relaxation response, but I call it rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, and regeneration, because this part of the nervous system is the part that you want to be in most of the time to get the best results for health, happiness, and longevity. This part of the nervous system, your parasympathetic nervous system, is where your body feels safe. It feels like the environment around it is safe. You can trust what's around you. You can trust who you're around. You can trust in yourself. And you feel safe to have the time to heal yourself, to absorb nutrients from the food that you eat, to digest the food, to process it, to eliminate the wastes, to absorb the nutrients. You feel safe to heal from injury, to recover from sickness, to get rid of pathogens inside your body. And then also, you have the possibility of regeneration. So your reproductive system becomes very enhanced when the parasympathetic nervous system works well, meaning not just that you'd have a good fertility rate or that you'd have good sex, but it means, these things are possible, of course, but it means that your body will be able to regenerate, reproduce cells. So even as you get older, when most people's brain cells are dying, yours can regenerate. This is an important component of the reproductive system. So what happens essentially when your parasympathetic nervous system dominates is you get enhanced function of your immune system, digestive system, and reproductive system. Your hormones work in a way, your neurotransmitters and your immunotransmitters work in a way which encourages health, happiness, and longevity. Your body feels safe, trusting. But if you begin to enter a state we call sympathetic dominance, where the sympathetic nervous system, flight, fight, freeze, or fear response comes on, then you will think subconsciously, unconsciously, automatically, with your unconscious mind, which is 1 million times more powerful as a computer processor than your conscious mind, that around you there's things to be worried about, that you have to be careful. There might be danger. We haven't got time to digest food. We haven't got time to heal from a cut or a cold. We haven't got time to think about regenerating, reproducing, or having children, or making new cells. There's a possibility of a real saber-toothed tiger around us in the form of a bank, a mortgage, a relationship, a television program. Something is threatening us. So we think. Most people live in this stressed state. What does it take to get out of this stress state and come back into a place of parasympathetic dominance? It takes a couple of things. One is that you've got to be able to not feel the physical signs of stress. So what are the physical signs of stress? We know there's physical, physiological, and mental signs of stress. So mental signs of stress are what you experience in your head, like too many things to think about. Well, maybe find a time each day to stop thinking so much. Find a really nourishing activity that you like, something simple, a simple practice, some sort of posture, movement, breath control. Maybe for you it's a walk. Maybe you can't walk, but maybe when people walk, their arms go back and forth. Maybe all you can do is pretend to walk like I'm doing now. And just do it in a way where you feel really nourished. Maybe put some nice music on. Do it for 5-10 minutes. Do it for an hour if you can, each day. So you're moving in a way where you're not feeling heart racing or tension or stretch, but you're engaged and you're not thinking so much. This place of not thinking in any activity will help put you back into the parasympathetic dominant state. Get you out of that overthinking, stressful place. But there are physical things you can do as well. You do not want to feel that you cannot feel relaxed. You do not want to feel tension in your body. You don't want to feel any tension in your body. Once you feel tension in your body thinks it's about to fail. You know that if you pick up something like a piece of wood like this, I know it's safe to pick up very easily, and I'm not going to break my back. But just imagine you go and pick up something, you realize it's a bit heavier than you thought it was, and as soon as you feel that tension, maybe you think, oh, I better be careful, I might hurt my back. There's a bit of threat. As soon as you feel tension in any muscle at all, subconsciously the body thinks, better be careful, I could hurt myself. So what we want is to be strong without feeling tense, to do activities where you don't feel like your body is going to fail. And so practice in that way. Practice movements which predominantly are not in any way stressful. No tension in your muscles. If you specifically squeeze muscles and tighten them in your body, it will cause stress. You see it in people's exercise classes, in pelvic floor classes, for example. You might tell a group of people, tighten your pelvic floor, tighten your anal muscles, and everyone in the room does this. Your wrong mouth. Tightening one muscle specifically will usually cause everything else to tighten. Better just do activities that cause muscles to activate. I'm not thinking tighten my biceps just when I bend my elbows, but my biceps naturally comes on. But it doesn't feel tense. If it did, I'd be worried. Imagine crossing your arms and going, that's a good biceps workout. Second thought would be, something's wrong with my biceps. Why should I feel it? Imagine feeling tense when you walked, when you lift one leg in front of the other. If you can feel one hip flexor set turn on as you make a step forward, that tension will also tell your body that something's wrong with your legs. You shouldn't be feeling tension if you feel safe and protected. So avoid exercises which make you feel tense. Not always, but 90% of the time, you want to exercise in a way where you do not feel tense. Life is stressful enough already. You don't need to add to it in your daily exercise regime, in your daily practice of posture, movement, breathing. And then the other one is stretching. Stretching, if you feel it, will cause stress. You want to become flexible. Mobility is freedom, and it's important to become free in your body, but don't do mobility exercise that actually feels stretch. I'm not talking about always. If occasionally you feel a stretch, it's okay. But if every part of your practice involves stretches, think a stretch, a feeling of stretch, is usually a feeling just before pain, which is a feeling just before injury or failure. And when you come to the end of your range of motion and you can't go further, subconsciously you've lost freedom, and the body feels loss of freedom. The same way in martial arts, as soon as someone straightens their elbow, it's known often that people can break the elbow because now it can't go any further. If you push it further, it will snap. Same with your knee. If you fully lock the knee, someone can push it fully and it will snap. Keeping the knee slightly bent, the elbow slightly bent, is a lot safer in martial arts. It's also a logical thing that when we're doing mobility exercises, locking your joints and coming to the end of your range of motion is risking injury physically. And physiologically, also, it will block blood flow. Mentally, it will impede your freedom. So be careful. If you want to have a healthy immune system, avoid strong stretches. If you want to have a healthy immune system, avoid strong muscle tensing exercises. If you want to have a healthy immune system, then another aspect of immune health will be a presence of good blood flow with low breathing, low heart rate. In other words, you want to be able to do things, move, make blood flow through the body, but not because the heart's racing, and get energy in your body, but not because you're breathing a lot. You see, the more you breathe, which technically we call hyperventilation, the more you enter a state of flight or fight. The more your heart races, it actually puts you into a more dominant state of sympathetic arousal, which is the state of fear, the state which turns off your immune system. So is it necessary to get your heart rate up so much? No. What's important is not getting your heart rate up. What's important is moving blood. Now, it surprises many people when I say that there are 11 other ways to move blood through the body other than the heart. So learn these ways. I have many other resources. Go look at them. 11 other ways to move blood through your body, which don't use the heart. And these 11 other ways mean that you can do them. You get good circulation. You'll feel warm in the cold. You'll feel energy. But you won't feel so hungry. You won't feel so sleepy. You won't feel so stressed. Emphasis is on the cardiovascular system improving, less emphasis on cardio, more emphasis on vascular, and this will help you get healthy. The other mistake that many people make is breathing. Don't breathe more, breathe less. Do more activities, but breathe less. Because when your body starts to breathe more than normal, subconsciously it perceives it as stress. And actually, physiologically, the more you breathe, the more you blow off carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide, when it dissolves in blood and comes inside your body, it becomes carbonic acid. And any acidity inside the body, especially the mild acidity of carbonic acid, from breathing less than normal, not breathing more than normal, will cause your nervous system to stay calm. But if you breathe more than normal, you start to feel jittery, you start to feel flustered, you start to feel anxious, nervous. It increases pain, increases sensation. It will also reduce blood flow to the brain, making you panic. So breathing more than normal is a sign of ill health. Breathing less than normal is a sign of health. Sitting still and doing nothing all day is a sign of ill health. Moving is a sign of health. Moving with a low heart rate is a sign of health. Moving slowly and your heart racing a lot, that's a sign of sickness. Moving fast and a lot with the heart hardly moving at all, that's a sign of health. What you want for perfect health, what we all want for perfect health, is to have the ability to do as many activities as possible for our body, subject to keeping our physical body safe, of course, but feeling that blood is flowing very easily, but we're hardly breathing, hardly having our heart increase in its beat, feeling hardly any sense of tension, hardly any sense of stretch in the body, and hardly thinking. Just doing our activity, which could be a gentle dance, a movement of whatever you'd like to call Tai Chi or Qigong, or make it a bit further, you might call it your yoga practice. But do it in a way where you feel just good energy and loving information flowing through the body. Good energy meaning a healthy blood flow with your heart rate low, and loving information being that dominance of your parasympathetic nervous system, that state of rest, rejuvenation, relaxation, regeneration. That place we come to in our deepest sleep. What are we doing in our deepest sleep? Breathing. Naturally. What's natural breathe? Natural breathing is inhale low, exhale passive. Don't breathe so much. Breathe through your nose. Don't even think about it. Learn that breathing while you're exercising. You get very, very fit. You'll find you need to sleep less, although sleeping is good for you. Most people might lie in bed for 7-8 hours, but it's not effective sleep. To practice effective sleeping, to get better sleeping, you need to practice your daily life a bit better. You need to get length in your muscles, get strength in your muscles, but without stretch or tension. Get blood flow throughout the day, so when you lie in bed at night, the natural breathing just moves through a completely tension-free body very, very easily. And one of the things that many people hear about often is that breathing is the link between body and mind. Often they say breathing is the link between conscious and unconscious. This is sort of true, but actually not quite true. It's not the breathing that's the link between conscious and unconscious. It's your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is this muscle that sits under the rib cage, and it descends by flattening on inhalation and returns to its dome shape on exhalation. It's an amazing muscle. If this muscle is working properly to help you breathe in what feels like a gentle abdominal way, minimally, effortlessly, then your nervous system, especially your parasympathetic nervous system and your immune system, work very, very effectively. If your diaphragm is inhibited, you've lost connection with a very important bridge between conscious and unconscious. You can't access your unconscious. You see, breathing diaphragmatically is something you can do in your deepest sleep without even thinking about it. But if I ask you, breathe into your abdomen, anyone pretty much can do that consciously anytime. If you can't, definitely learn it. Definitely practice it. It's really important for your health. Breathe into your abdomen. Hold one hand in the chest, one hand in the abdomen. Sometimes lying down is easier. Sometimes sitting is a bit easier because people's hip flexors are so stiff from sitting. And feel that when you inhale, you open your pelvic floor. Feel like the lower back lengthens. Abdomen expands on inhale and the chest doesn't move at all. And when the exhalation happens, in the beginning, just let the air go out by itself. Sometimes if you're lying on your back with your knees bent and your knees maybe resting over a cushion or a pillow or a bolster, that's also easier to do it like that. But once you learn conscious diaphragmatic breathing, you have an access point to your subconscious nervous system, your unconscious nervous system. But the good news is that the diaphragm's not the only way. There are 11 other bridges between conscious and unconscious within the body. If you can access them in your posture, movement, and breathing, you get a lot better results. These other places which have dual control between conscious and unconscious are very important to know about. One of them we know very well is the eye blinking. So when we blink, we can do that consciously, but if someone does something fast in front of your face, you blink automatically. It has dual control, conscious control and unconscious control. Another one is salivation. You can choose to make saliva and swallow it. But if someone puts a delicious meal in front of your face, you'll salivate all by yourself, assuming you're relaxed and healthy. So if you choose to salivate, choose to blink, this can help reset your nervous system. 12 places, I said. One is the pelvic floor, front, middle, back. 3 places. The pelvic floor, the urethra, the anus, and the perineum in the middle. Another set comes to do with the jaw, its ability to chew, and the lips, its ability to move. Because you see tense people, their jaws are locked and their lips are all tight. Relax your jaw, relax your lips. Another one is the inner eyes. When someone is in their deepest sleep, the eyes have rolled upward. And you see whites of the eyes when someone's eyes are open when they're asleep. Can you learn to do this consciously? So learn to move your eyes left and right, up and down, in a circle. Practice going round and round. Practice blinking. Practice moving your jaw, your lips, making saliva, breathing into the abdomen, then making your pelvic floor gently expand and maybe relax, maybe contract if you need it, but be careful. Don't do too much contraction of your pelvic floor unless you've got a problem there. If you haven't got a problem, most people's pelvic floor are too tight, and there's names for people like that. The other places that also have dual control, surprisingly, will be the fingers and their connection to the shoulders, and the toes and their connection to the hips. So it helps if you move your fingers, move your shoulders, but lengthen the fingers, then move them. Move your shoulders apart, then roll them. Lengthen between the sitting bones, relax the pelvic floor, and move your pelvis. And if your legs are in the air, you can move your toes as well. And if you do this, then you start to really connect with your subconscious. So often the simplest exercise I give is for someone to stand or sit with the knees slightly bent if they're standing, so the sitting bones can just drop down like a weight on a string, which is the spine, and lengthen the fingers. Check they can move. Move the shoulders apart, check they can roll. Lengthen your neck, check the neck is free. Relax between the sitting bones, move the sitting bones apart and check the pelvis can move. Lengthen your lower back and check the abdomen can breathe or roll. Then relax the face. Maybe moving the jaw, lips or eyes, blinking a few times. And as soon as you do this, your nervous system starts to calm down, starts to become more parasympathetically dominant. Practice this with gentle movement. Practice in simple movements. Practice in simple postures, these 6 places to relax. Then learn to move smoothly between them while staying relaxed. Move without stretching, without tension. You'll find you develop strength and flexibility. Move with heart rate low. You find this type of movement develops good blood flow. You'll feel your fingers are warm very quickly if you just learn to roll the shoulders. You'll get energy in a way that this is no longer a workout. Workout's what they do in the gym. At the end of a workout, you are more tired, have less energy, more need for sleep and food. What we need for long-term health, happiness and longevity is a work-in, something which at the end of the practice, you feel more energy, less need for sleep, less need for food, and probably you're going to live longer as well. Thank you.